What if I told you that your entire reality, your relationships, your opportunities, even the way the world responds to you, could shift dramatically, not by working harder, not by struggling more, but by tuning into a hidden frequency that shapes everything around you? Think about it for a moment. We live in a universe made of energy, where every single thing vibrates at its own frequency. And just like a radio station, the channel you're tuned into determines the music you hear, the reality you experience. But here's the secret. Most people never realize you are the radio, you are the broadcaster, and the frequency you're sending out is creating the reality that reflects back to you. That's why two people can walk into the same room, face the same circumstances, and have completely different experiences. One attracts resistance, failure, closed doors. The other attracts opportunity, flow, and miracles. What makes the difference? It's not luck, it's not even talent, it's frequency. In this video, you're going to discover what that frequency really is, why it has the power to shape your world, and how understanding it can flip the switch on your entire reality. Most people chase external change, trying to fix life from the outside in. They try to hustle their way into a better life, hoping that more effort will somehow break the cycle. But here's the truth. If your inner frequency doesn't match the life you want, no amount of action will ever feel like enough. You'll keep running in circles, pushing harder, yet getting the same results. Science itself whispers clues about this. Quantum physics shows us that reality responds to observation, that matter itself bends to energy and intention. Spiritual traditions have taught this for centuries in different languages, the law of vibration, resonance, alignment. But very few people truly live it, and even fewer understand that there is one key frequency, one shift in vibration, that makes the difference between struggling in the same patterns and stepping into a life that feels like destiny unfolding. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just hear about it, you'll feel it. You'll understand why your reality has shown up the way it has, and you'll know the exact inner shift you can make to change it. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful daydreams. This is about resonance. It's about becoming the version of you that already lives in the reality you want, and broadcasting that frequency so clearly that the universe can't help but answer. So if you've ever wondered why certain doors never open, why your efforts sometimes go unseen, or why life feels heavier than it should, you're about to find out. And more importantly, you're going to learn how to change it. Because once you understand this frequency, reality itself begins to bend in your favor. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to uncover might just be the missing piece you've been searching for all along. Before we talk about the idea of shifting your reality, we first need to understand something very simple but very powerful. Everything around you, everything you can see, touch, or even imagine, is made of energy. This is not just a spiritual idea, it's also a scientific fact. At the most basic level, the solid things we think of as fixed are actually made of tiny particles, constantly moving, constantly vibrating. That movement, that vibration, is energy. So when we say everything is energy, we're not speaking in metaphors. We're speaking about the very foundation of reality. Now if everything is energy, then it also has a certain rhythm or speed. This is what we call frequency. Frequency is simply the rate at which energy vibrates. Imagine a guitar string. When you pluck it, it vibrates at a certain speed and produces a certain sound. If you tighten the string, the vibration changes, and so does the sound. Energy works the same way. Your thoughts, your emotions, your body, and even the environment you live in all carry a specific frequency. And just like music, some frequencies create harmony, while others create dissonance. Modern spiritual teachings often talk about this in terms of vibrational frequency. This idea has roots in what's known as the law of vibration. The law suggests that nothing rests, everything moves, and everything vibrates. This law says that the difference between one form of matter and another, or even between one state of being and another, is really just a difference in vibration. Think about water, ice and steam. They're all the same substance, but their vibrations are different, and that's why they appear in different forms. In the same way, your personal vibration influences the form your life takes. When spiritual teachers talk about raising your vibration, what they're really pointing to is changing the frequency of your energy. A low vibrational state is connected with fear, doubt, anger, and despair. These emotions vibrate at slower, denser frequencies. A high vibrational state is connected with love, joy, gratitude, and peace. These vibrate at faster, lighter frequencies. And because like attracts like, the frequency you carry tends to pull in experiences that match it. This is why people who live in constant worry often find more reasons to worry, while those who live in gratitude often find more blessings showing up. To make this even simpler, think of yourself as a walking radio tower. You are constantly broadcasting a signal. That signal is your frequency, and the universe, like a giant receiver, responds by matching you with circumstances, people, and opportunities that resonate with your broadcast. If you're sending out signals of lack, frustration, or negativity, you'll tend to attract more of the same. But if you tune your frequency to abundance, clarity, and love, the world you live in begins to look very different. This is why understanding frequency matters. It's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's about realizing that your inner vibration is the foundation of the outer reality you experience. When you shift the vibration, the frequency changes, and reality responds in ways that often feel nothing short of magical. Many people grow up with the belief that the harder they work, the better their life will become. Society teaches us this from a young age: push more, hustle harder, stay busy, and eventually success will come. On the surface, this idea seems true. Effort does play a role in shaping results. But there's a hidden layer that most people overlook, and this is why they often find themselves exhausted, doing more and more, but not really moving closer to the life they want. That missing piece is frequency. Imagine trying to plant seeds in dry, lifeless soil. No matter how many seeds you scatter, or how carefully you water them, the soil itself cannot nurture growth. The same is true for your energy. If your frequency is heavy, filled with fear, doubt, or negativity, then your actions, no matter how well-intentioned, won't take root in the way you expect. You might be working day and night, but the outcomes will feel frustrating or incomplete, almost like something is blocking your progress. This is where the law of resonance comes in. Resonance means that things vibrating at a similar frequency naturally attract and amplify each other. Think of a tuning fork. If you strike one fork and place another nearby, the second one will begin to vibrate at the same tone without being touched. It's not magic, it's resonance. Energy responds to energy. In the same way, the vibration you carry inside attracts external experiences that resonate with it. If your internal state is low, your vibration will align with situations, people, and opportunities that reflect that same energy. It can look like constant obstacles, missed chances, or repeating cycles of struggle. On the other hand, if your vibration is high, your energy aligns with possibilities, ease, and opportunities that feel natural and almost effortless. This is why two people can put in the same amount of work, but their results look completely different. The difference isn't in the hours they spend, but in the energy behind those hours. Let's say you're chasing financial success. If you're working from a place of fear, fear of not having enough, fear of losing what you gain, fear of competition, you're broadcasting a frequency of scarcity. That frequency resonates with more scarcity, so even if you make progress, it may slip away or feel unstable. On the other hand, if you approach the same goal from a frequency of abundance, trust, and gratitude, your energy resonates with opportunities that grow and expand. The actions may look similar on the outside, but the results are vastly different because the underlying frequency changes everything. This is why doing more isn't always the answer. Without the right energy behind your actions, you may find yourself chasing outcomes that never quite come together. But when your vibration matches what you desire, your actions become amplified, and life responds in ways that align naturally with your inner state. The law of resonance ensures that you don't simply get what you want, you get what you are tuned to. Doubt is one of the heaviest weights a person can carry. It creeps in quietly, whispering that maybe things won't work out, maybe you're not ready, or maybe you don't deserve what you're reaching for. Doubt lowers your confidence, and when confidence drops, your frequency drops with it. You begin to hesitate, second-guess yourself, and overthink every decision. That hesitation blocks the flow of energy, almost like putting a kink in a garden hose. The water is still there, the potential is still there, but it can't move freely. Fear often follows right behind doubt. Fear is powerful because it keeps you focused on what might go wrong instead of what could go right. It makes you imagine worst-case scenarios, and those thoughts carry a vibration of their own. The more you think about what you don't want, the more energy you give to it. And since energy attracts energy, fear often brings more reasons to be afraid. It becomes a cycle that's hard to break, and before long, fear starts shaping the way you see the world. Resistance shows up when part of you wants change, but another part isn't ready to let go of the old patterns. It can feel like pressing the gas and the brake at the same time. You say you want to move forward, but deep inside, you're holding on to beliefs or habits that contradict that desire. Resistance creates tension. You might feel restless or unsettled, as though something is always pulling you back. It doesn't matter how hard you try to push past it, until you resolve the inner conflict. Resistance keeps draining your energy. Frustration builds when you feel like you're doing everything right, but nothing seems to work. You take steps forward, but results are slow or inconsistent. You compare yourself to others, and wonder why it seems easier for them. Frustration adds another layer to the cycle, lowering your vibration even further. It can even convince you to stop trying, because what's the point if nothing changes? That feeling of being stuck is one of the clearest signs that your inner frequency and outer actions are out of alignment. Feeling stuck isn't always about lack of effort. Sometimes it's about energy not moving. You may wake up day after day with the sense that you're repeating the same story, like walking in circles. Even when new opportunities come along, they might feel like versions of the same old situations. This stuckness can be deeply discouraging, because it seems like no matter what you do, life refuses to shift. External results not matching inner desires can be one of the most painful experiences. You want love but keep meeting rejection. You want success but face constant setbacks. You want freedom but feel trapped in obligations. When reality doesn't line up with what you feel inside, it can make you doubt whether change is even possible. The truth is, the mismatch is usually a reflection of frequency. Your outer world mirrors your inner vibration, and if they aren't aligned, the results will always feel out of sync with what you long for most. Love is one of the highest frequencies you can hold. When you shift into a state of love, it changes the way you see yourself, the way you see others, and the way you see the world. Love is not only about romance or relationships, it is about the energy of acceptance, compassion, and connection. When you carry love inside you, your energy becomes lighter, and people around you can feel it. Love draws people in, opens doors, and creates harmony. It acts like a magnet, aligning you with experiences that mirror that same energy. Gratitude works in a similar way. Gratitude is the frequency of fullness. It's the recognition that even if you don't have everything you want, you already have enough. This doesn't mean you stop desiring more, but instead of focusing on lack, you focus on abundance. Gratitude raises your vibration instantly. When you take a moment to appreciate the simplest things, the breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the small acts of kindness in your day, you send out a frequency of appreciation. That frequency tells the universe, I recognize what I have, I am ready for more. Life responds by giving you more reasons to be grateful. Clarity is another key element of this shift. When your energy is scattered or clouded by doubt, confusion, or hesitation, your frequency becomes mixed. Mixed signals create mixed results.
But when you gain clarity, when you know what you want, why you want it, and you commit to it, your frequency sharpens. It becomes a clear broadcast. The universe, which always responds to vibration, can finally hear. Clarity removes the noise, the static, and allows your energy to align with your vision. Then comes flow. Flow is the state where life seems to move with you instead of against you. It's when opportunities show up at the right time, when the right people cross your path, and when challenges resolve with unexpected ease. Flow doesn't mean you never face obstacles, but it does mean you're no longer pushing against the current. Instead, you move with it, guided by intuition, trust, and alignment. Flow feels natural, effortless, even joyful. When you embody love, gratitude, clarity, and flow, something remarkable happens. You feel aligned. You no longer feel torn between what you want and what you believe you can have. You no longer feel stuck in resistance. Instead, you feel at ease, even excited, as if life itself is conspiring to help you. This alignment is not about forcing circumstances to change. It's about shifting your inner state so that your energy matches the life you desire. The transformation always begins within. Your inner state is the seed, and your outer life is the fruit. When love fills you, gratitude grounds you, clarity guides you, and flow carries you, your vibration rises. And once your vibration rises, your outer world begins to reflect it. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach begin to appear. Relationships become lighter and more meaningful. Success begins to flow with less effort. The shift always starts inside, and from there, it ripples outward into every corner of your life. Emotions are powerful signals of the frequency you're holding. If you find yourself stuck in fear, your energy becomes heavy, and that heaviness shapes how you experience the world. Fear makes everything feel uncertain, unstable, and unsafe. But fear doesn't have to be the final stop. When you consciously move from fear into faith, the frequency begins to shift. Faith is the bridge. It doesn't mean you have all the answers, but it means you trust that answers exist and that life has the capacity to support you. Faith opens the door to hope, and when hope expands, it naturally leads into joy. Joy is a high, radiant frequency. It brings lightness, excitement, and a sense of possibility. By moving your emotions through this sequence, fear into faith, faith into joy, you realign yourself with energies that attract better experiences. Your thoughts are the second layer of this process. Every thought you have carries a vibration. The words you repeat in your inner dialogue become the blueprint of your life. If your thoughts are filled with self-doubt, judgment, or limitation, you're programming your energy with those exact patterns. Changing your thoughts doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing beliefs that support the reality you want to create. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you shift to "I am learning and growing." Instead of "nothing works for me," you move to "things are starting to align." These subtle changes in inner dialogue send out a different frequency, one that tells the universe you are ready for new outcomes. Embodying the reality is another crucial step. It's one thing to wish for change, but it's another to live as if that change is already true. Acting as if doesn't mean pretending or lying to yourself. It means aligning your behavior, your posture, and your energy with the version of you who already has what you desire. If you want abundance, embody the confidence of someone who trusts money flows easily. If you want love, embody the openness and warmth of someone who knows they are worthy of connection. When you embody the reality, your vibration begins to match it, and that frequency pulls the external world into alignment with your inner state. There are also practices that help you maintain this higher frequency. Meditation quiets the noise of the mind and helps you reconnect with your core energy. Breathwork clears stagnant emotions and brings balance to your nervous system. Spending time in nature reconnects you to the natural frequencies of the earth, grounding your energy and lifting your spirit. Music, especially when chosen intentionally, can elevate your emotions and tune your frequency instantly. Each of these practices is like tuning an instrument. You are tuning yourself to vibrate in harmony with the life you want. By combining emotional shifts, thought changes, embodiment and supportive practices, you create a powerful environment for frequency to rise, and with it your reality begins to shift. There is an invisible field that surrounds and connects everything in existence. Some call it the quantum field, others call it the collective consciousness, and many spiritual traditions describe it in their own language. No matter what you call it, the idea is simple. There is a universal field that responds to the energy you give off. This field is not distant or separate from you. You are part of it, and it is part of you. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold sends out a signal into this field. The field responds by reflecting back circumstances, opportunities and experiences that match that signal. Think of it like an echo. When you shout into a canyon, your voice comes back to you. The field works in a similar way, except instead of echoing sound, it echoes vibration. If you send out a vibration of fear or lack, the field responds with situations that reinforce that feeling. If you send out a vibration of trust, love and possibility, the field responds with opportunities that align with those higher states. This is not about magic or wishful thinking. It is about resonance, the natural law that energy attracts energy of the same kind. When you match a higher frequency, new possibilities begin to open. It's like tuning into a different station on the radio. The music playing on one station may be full of static and noise, but when you turn the dial, suddenly you're hearing a completely different song. The station was always there, you just weren't tuned to it yet. The same is true for reality. Higher possibilities exist all around you, but you can't experience them until your frequency matches them. This explains why certain shifts in life feel almost miraculous. One day everything seems stuck, and the next opportunities appear as if out of nowhere. The truth is, those opportunities were always in the field. They simply became visible and accessible once your vibration aligned with them. The higher the frequency you hold, love, joy, clarity, gratitude, the more expansive the field becomes for you. Doors that once looked closed suddenly swing open. People who can help you cross your path. Solutions to problems you've carried for years start to reveal themselves. The best part is that you don't need to understand complicated theories or esoteric language to work with this field. You don't need to be a scientist or a mystic. All you need is awareness of the energy you're carrying. When you shift your state from fear to trust, from doubt to clarity, from tension to flow, you're already tuning your vibration. The universal field doesn't respond to what you say you want, it responds to what you truly are in this moment. By holding a higher vibration, you're not forcing the universe to give you anything, you're simply stepping into alignment with what is already available. This is how your inner shift opens new possibilities in your outer life. There was once a woman who lived her life in constant fear. Every day she worried about money, about bills piling up, about what could go wrong next. She worked hard, sometimes harder than anyone she knew, but nothing seemed to improve. Her fear became the soundtrack of her life, and everywhere she turned she saw proof of it. Unexpected expenses, missed chances, people who didn't support her. It felt like the world itself was against her, and the more she worried, the heavier her life became. One night, exhausted from the endless cycle, she decided to try something different. Instead of lying awake replaying her fears, she sat quietly and asked herself what she truly wanted. The answer surprised her. She didn't want endless money or grand success right away. What she wanted was peace. She wanted to feel safe, even if just for a moment. That night she practiced gratitude. She thanked the roof over her head, the food in her kitchen, and even the small kindness of a neighbor who had smiled at her earlier that day. Something in her shifted. For the first time in years, she fell asleep feeling a little lighter. She continued this practice every day. At first it was awkward, her old fears still came, but she kept bringing her focus back to gratitude and trust. Slowly her inner dialogue began to change. Instead of saying, "I'll never get out of this," she caught herself saying, "Things are starting to improve." Instead of feeling fear every time she opened a bill, she reminded herself, "I always find a way." This shift in her frequency began small like a faint signal, but it grew stronger each day. Then the external changes started. At work she was offered an opportunity to join a new project. Normally she would have dismissed it, thinking she wasn't ready, but with her new sense of faith, she said yes. That project introduced her to people she would have never met otherwise. One connection led to another, and soon she was offered a job that paid more and gave her the freedom she had long dreamed of. It wasn't only money that changed. Relationships began to feel lighter. She noticed people responded differently to her, more open and supportive. Small coincidences began to line up, running into someone at the right time, finding resources she needed without searching, feeling guided toward choices that made her life easier. What had felt like endless resistance began to flow with surprising ease. Looking back, she realized the world hadn't changed on its own. She had changed first. The moment she shifted her frequency from fear to gratitude, from lack to abundance, everything else started to move. She hadn't forced life to give her anything, she had simply tuned into a higher vibration, and life responded. Her story became a living example of how one inner shift can turn what looks like fate into something entirely new, filled with possibility. Old beliefs have a way of clinging to us, even when we've outgrown them. They come from childhood, from culture, from repeated experiences that carved deep grooves into the mind. You may decide to step into a new reality, but those old thought patterns whisper in the background, "It's not possible, you don't deserve it," or "This is just how life is." These beliefs don't vanish the moment you decide to change. They tug at you, pulling you back into familiar cycles because the mind finds comfort in what it knows, even if what it knows is pain, scarcity or fear. Social pressure adds another layer to this challenge. When you begin raising your frequency, not everyone around you will understand. Some people might mock your optimism, dismiss your new practices, or even warn you against change. Friends and family can unconsciously reinforce the old vibration because they've known you as a certain version of yourself. They may say, "Don't get your hopes up," or "Be realistic," and though they might mean well, those words can trigger doubt. The environment you stay in plays a big role. If you're surrounded by negativity, gossip, or people who thrive on drama, it becomes easy to slip back into that same frequency. Triggers also arise in daily life. It might be an unexpected bill, a stressful conversation, or an old memory resurfacing. In those moments, the mind automatically replays the old script, making you feel as if nothing has really changed. That's why shifting your vibration isn't just a one-time event. It's not enough to feel good once and assume it will carry you forever. The world keeps testing you and your old patterns keep resurfacing, asking, "Do you really want to let go of me?" This is where consistent vibration maintenance becomes essential. Just like physical health requires ongoing care, exercise, nutrition, rest, your frequency also needs daily attention. Meditation, journaling, affirmations, gratitude, or even small practices like conscious breathing are tools to keep you steady. The goal is not to never feel low again, but to build resilience. When the dip comes, you catch yourself faster. When old beliefs whisper, you recognize them as echoes of the past, not truth. When pressure builds, you remind yourself why you chose this path in the first place. Over time, this consistency creates a new baseline. What once felt like effort, choosing gratitude, thinking abundantly, acting from faith, starts to feel natural. The old beliefs may still exist, but they lose their grip. Social pressure no longer feels like a threat because your inner alignment speaks louder. Triggers still happen, but they don't drag you under for long. You begin to see that maintaining your vibration is not about perfection, but about direction. Each day you practice, you reinforce the new frequency, and that becomes your new normal. The more you nurture it, the less power the past has to pull you back. When you truly understand that frequency is the key, everything changes. Your reality is not shaped only by what you do on the outside, but by the energy you hold on the inside. Doubt, fear, and resistance keep you stuck, but love, gratitude, and clarity open the door to new possibilities. When you shift your inner state, your outer reality has no choice but to follow. Remember this: you don't need to fight harder, you need to align deeper. The moment you tune into a higher frequency, life begins to reflect it back to you. Opportunities appear, relationships transform, and even challenges seem to guide you toward growth. Your power is not in chasing what you want, but in becoming the frequency of what you desire. So as you move forward, carry this truth with you: reality bends to the energy you embody. The shift begins within, and once you master that, the outside world becomes a mirror of your highest self. If this message spoke to you today, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss the insights that can help you transform your reality. Your journey has already begun. Now keep walking in alignment with the frequency that calls you higher.